Hello, Internet, and welcome to my live reaction for One Piece Chapter 1000. That's right, folks, we are finally at the big quadruple digits. And also, welcome to my first video of the new year. Happy New Year, y'all. Anyway, when we last left our heroes, we kind of paused most of the action, for the most part, to kind of reminisce about Ace, as Yamato told the story about how he and Ace had destroyed the dragon statue that they had found in the store that he, Momo, and Shinobu had found in the storage room. Um, Also revealing that Ace is Luffy's brother and Roger's son, and that Yamato is Kaido's son. Nami also told Tama about Ace and Luffy being brothers. Meanwhile, Marco was taking Zoro up to the rooftop, but was stopped by King and Queen, and then did some more Ace flashbacking. And then on the rooftop, Kaido and Big Mom got to chatting. As Big Mom got Kaido to promise not to kill all the Straw Hats except for Robin, who she needs to read the poneglyphs. We also learned that Big Mom gave Kaido his devil fruit, which is the fish fruit, which is really weird given that there is a dragon fruit. And they end the chapter with a line, something about we'll continue this conversation when we have the One Piece, which feels like they're planning on getting the One Piece in the next couple of hours. Is how I kind of read that. Like that's the thing you say when you're near having that conversation. So yeah, huge chapter last time, even if a lot of it was just kind of dedicated to Ace. So anyway, let's jump right on into chapter 1000. So yeah, we have here the other half of last chapter's 4-page cover picture. This time with Luffy, Nami, Jinbei, Brook, and it's sideways, so I'm assuming that's all there is there. I might be missing something, hanging out with a bunch of gold. Brook's got like a yellow afro now, which fits the yellow color scheme. Anyway, we now open with Chapter 1000, Straw Hat Luffy. Inside the castle, 5th floor. We open on Straw Hat Luffy. Oh! And he sees Inuarashi's 3 musketeers, who have kind of cleared out the floor for him. And one of them tells him, "This is about the only thing we can do to help. But go ahead. The stairs of the roof are just before you." Luffy responds, "Thanks, Lion Viper. It's Shishilion. Don't worry, I haven't forgotten. I remember how you guys risked your lives to protect Raizo." And saying that, he runs past them. "Thanks, I'll be back." And we see Shishilion kind of grabs at his eyes like he's holding back tears. It looks like it's a really small panel, so I can't quite tell. And then we cut over to Marco and his fight with King and Queen. As Queen tries to snap at Marco, and it doesn't really work. "Damn it! What's with his powers? Is he invincible?" And Marco just kind of gives this kind of look, as King is shocked at something, and there's this boom noise that rises from Marco's wings, and then with his wings he kind of grabs King and Queen by their necks with each wing. And Marco tells them, "Easy now, easy. Stop freaking out and let the man go." And then he just yeets Zoro through the roof. What a king. Zoro yells, "Don't just toss me." That, in the end, is the only way Zoro could ever get to where he's going quickly, if he's literally thrown there. Marco watches as Zoro goes flying straight through the hole in the roof. And then we cut to Momonosuke, who says, "D? And this is in my father's journal?" Hold on. So Yamato is seemingly just told Momonosuke something from Oden's journal. Does Oden know what the Will of D is? I don't. It's been a while since I've read some of the Marineford, where Whitebeard was actually an active part of the story, right? But I seem to remember Whitebeard not knowing what D was. Unless I'm completely... Yeah, because I think Roger was the first one to bring it up to Whitebeard, so I don't think Whitebeard would know. Uh, and if Whitebeard doesn't know, I don't know how Odin could know. Unless D is specifically tied in with Wano and the Kozuki, just like the Poneglyphs are. Maybe, possibly, I don't know. I should actually continue reading the chapter. And Yamato says, honestly, I never truly believed that I would get the chance to meet you. This is for you, of course. I picked it up out of the river at the foot of Odin Castle, on that terrible day. And he hands Momonosuke the journal. Someone must have kept this journal safe from the burning castle. And Shinobu looks at it. Lord Odin's journal. It contains everything there is to know about Odin's grand life and the worlds he experienced. And Momonosuke looks at it and, like, tearing up. Father. And then we see, as Yamato continues talking, we see Law and Kid as they continue, their trek through the castle. You were born on Whitebeard's ship, weren't you? And then you went on Roger's ship. Momo was silent. They said that in the future, over 20 years later, the new world here will be overrun by young, powerful new pirates. Which is, of course, the relevance of showing Law, Kid, and Killer there. And Yamato continues, and that's what's happening now. I believe that Ace was first and foremost among them. But when he died, I remembered something. And then we move back into Ace flashback. So there's even more Ace for Chapter 1000. Which honestly kind of fits, given that 999 and 1000 share a 4-page cover. It makes sense that the two of them would kind of be best read as a unit. So if 999 is going to focus on Ace, then I think 1000 kind of should too, is what I'm getting at. Anyway, Ace just kind of looks out, and he kind of tries to walk back to something that he said. Shoot, that was a slip of the tongue. I wasn't supposed to say that. You didn't hear that. Forget about it. Anyway, don't laugh at that. Me and Sabo won't allow it. I don't think Ace has mentioned Sabo at all yet, has he? Also, I don't remember... Is what he said... Is whatever Ace is talking about here mentioned in 999? I don't remember it in 999. But I might just have forgotten the exact details of how their flashback left off in 999. That's at the end of my little brother's dream. It might be something about the One Piece, maybe? I'm gonna check back into 999 real fast, see if I can, work that out quickly. It's gonna be hard with Shueisha's, disaster of a manga reader. The last thing it looks like in that flashback is about the toughest one of all won't be setting sail for a few years yet, my little brother. I don't see any more of that conversation in 999. But presumably he had mentioned finding One Piece, given that is very much the end of his little brother's dream. Anyway, back to the actual story. Sure, when Luffy first said it, we laughed, but that's okay. Nobody else can laugh, and Yamato's kind of stunned at all this. We believe in him. And Yamato starts to tear up at this. And Ace just looks at him with a stern face. I really think he can make it happen. And that's why... And then Yamato stands up. Ace! Huh? And Ace looks at him. Hey, what's the deal, Yamato? And we see Yamato smiling and crying. I'm not going to laugh at him. Those are the words the King of the Pirates spoke. That's not part of the flashback. I think that's present day Yamato. I think that's referring to the in the future the new world be overrun by young powerful new pirates, as what Roger said. For a second there I was like, is that related to this flashback? The words of the King of the Pirates spoke? But no, he had just mentioned a Roger line. Anyway, words that stunned Odin. In the journal of Kozuki Odin, there was a great man who said the same thing. Of course I wouldn't laugh at him. Your brother is incredible. And Ace kind of smiles. Oh yeah? A great man, huh? That's good to hear. Maybe one day, me and Luffy should sit down with him for a drink. Who is the great man here? Because... I'm trying to think this through. Because there are only a few people who would, Whitebeard or Roger And if he's already dead by this point, it would have to be Roger. But why couldn't Yamato save Roger? Unless... Because it's present-day Yamato who has those are the words the King of the Pirates spoke. So could it be that in the past, thanks to Wano's exclusionism, and given that Odin left Roger's ship, I think before he gained the King of the Pirates moniker, if I'm not mistaken, or at the very least shortly after he had it, does Yamato not know Roger's fame at this point in time? I mean, he certainly does now. I don't know. I might be missing something very obvious here. People who are like One Piece scholars, feel free to correct me in the comments, please. Anyway, Ace laughs. Maybe one day, me and Luffy should sit down with him for a drink. Ha ha ha, I bet you would have gotten along. Would have? Well, he's already dead. You're talking about a dead guy? And then sometime later, Yamato... There, it's done. This is your Vivre card. Oh, so Yamato's the one who makes Ace's Vivre card? Okay. What all do we know about Vivre card production? Because I don't remember if we ever learned anything about how they're made. But Ace looks at it. Huh? It's just a piece of paper. Yes, but that piece of paper will bring us together again. Tear off a bit of it and give it to your friends if you don't want to lose. Give it to your friends you don't want to lose track of, or people you'll want to meet again. Oh. And as Ace leaves, Yamato calls out to him, "Let's meet up again one day, Ace." You bet. Which never happens, as Yamato continues back in the present. And then one day, Ace's card just disappeared. Shortly after that, I learned the truth in the newspaper. I learned that Ace was Roger's son, and that his little brother really had made a name for himself as a pirate. So that kind of tosses out my earlier, does he not know a few years ago about Roger's, King of the Pirates status. Because he gets newspapers, so he should know who the King of the Pirates was. Anyway, focus. So my point being, I don't know what's going on in that line. Anyway, and that his little brother really had made a name for himself as a pirate. That was Luffy, the man you brought here. This is what Odin wrote about the future. And we see, over all this, Luffy running up the stairs, busting the door down, and he's now, I think, on the rooftop? Are there more than 5 floors? But there's a bunch of smoke as he looks around. This is what Odin wrote about the future. And just then, we see who else is there but Law, Zoro, Killer, Kid, all staring down Kaido and Big Mom. And we see Kid, Law just kind of looks at Luffy, and Kid acknowledges him. And here's another one. All of you, stay back and watch me fight. And Zoro and Killer just kind of acknowledge what happened. And Kaido looks at him, Straw Hat. And Big Mom laughs. All these fetching young heads are ripe for the taking. And then we see this great panel, these great pair panels as, our 5 heroes square down against Big Mom and Kaido. And over that, we get Yamato's narration. Over 20 years in the future, powerful pirates leading the next generation will come swarming into the new world. If I am dead by then, they will be the ones to strike down Kaido. This feels like an end of chapter thing, but we're only halfway through. Yeah. So yeah, they all just kind of look at each other, take their battle poses, get ready for the fight. And then Luffy all of a sudden remembers something. And then he starts walking. And everyone's kind of shocked at that. Big Mom lets out an audible, And Kaido asks Big Mom, Lin, can you guess what this boy said he would become? Right to my face. And Big Mom laughs. Oh, he's a saucy one. He talked a big game to me, too. And he destroyed my castle. You owe me an apology for that, Straw Hat. And Luffy just walks right past them. And Big Mom lets out a, huh? And Luffy just walks. And Zoro watches him quietly. And Kaido looks back at him. Hey, boy, Say it again. Tell us what you're going to be, right here where we can hear you. And Luffy, at this point, has no need to acknowledge him, as he walks over to Kinemon and, like, holds him, and asks, "You alright, Kinemon? I'm sorry it took me so long." Which I love. I love that after, in the middle of everything, the first thing he does is check up on his friends. Make sure Kinemon is alive, and then he can beat the shit out of Kaido and Big Mom later. But like, Kinemon needs to be alive first. So Kinemon coughs up blood, and Luffy kind of takes that in, that he's alive at the very least, and he looks around at the rest of the Akazaya, all beaten, battered, bruised, maybe dead, we don't know. Unconscious at the very least, worse than Kinemon is in. And Kinemon lets out, alas, when I pass on, I have nothing to show Lord Odin but my shame. I hope Kinemon does not die like that. Like, all of the Akazaya deserve the world. Kinemon deserves better than to just die lighting up like that. And Kinemon grabs Luffy's cloak and asks, "Will you put Wano on your back?" And Luffy assures him, "Of course I will. It's my friend's country." And I think Kinemon, loses consciousness there. His eyes certainly close, and his, face is, distorted almost. And Kaido just, looms over Luffy, club raised. "Hey, boy!" And Kinemon is still alive, clearly. He lets out a little, noise. And he's still conscious enough to let out a, "Sir Luffy." And Luffy calls back, "Traffy, send them all down below." And Law does, silently. Kinemon disappears. And then Luffy jumps out of the way of Kaido's club. Down below, we see where Kaido hit the ground. Rubble from, the roof is falling down to the floors below. And Luffy activates Gear 3. Gum Gum! So immediately into Gear 3. Gear 3, I guess, is the proper term. We have all of these flashbacks. From Onzo, where the Minks tell Kinemon and Kanjuro, "Raizo is alive and well." Nekomamushi smiles, "We would never sell a comrade to an enemy." Momonosuke crying, "I want to defeat Kaido." Kinemon telling them the truth of their time traveling. "We crossed through time to arrive here, from the Wano of 20 years ago. To Yasui's death, the friendly oddball of Ebisu Town shall make the final grand journey." Hyogoro, I forget when exactly that is for Hyogoro. At a certain point in Udon Mine, I'm pretty sure, "The fire of rebellion still burns. The sparks have not gone out." And then, Kinemon telling the Straw Hats, what happened to Odin. "Lord Odin, beloved by all, was taken to the Flower Capital and tried as a criminal, tried and executed." And now we're back in the present as Kaido looks up at Luffy, who's coming down flames, and Luffy punches him, and Kaido's stunned by that. You don't get the clear skin rippling that you sometimes get with a really hard fist in manga, but still it seems to have done quite a bit. Gum Gum, Red Rock! And he slams Kaido into the ground, who is now flaming. And Big Mom calls, "Kaido, what are you doing? How can you let him hit you like that?" And Kaido and Big Mom both look up at Luffy as he says, "I am Monkey D. Luffy, and I'm the man," and he steadies his hat on his head, "who will surpass you to be king of the pirates." Next chapter hits January 17th. Alright. This chapter was awesome. This chapter was fucking awesome. I've not been quiet about my gripes with the raid so far. I think it's, by and large, just too much going on. too many pieces moving, too many more pieces than should be moving. They can really keep. So he has to. So Oda ends up kind of like dropping the momentum on some of them, skipping some of them. None of that is here. This is just a great fucking chapter. This is a highlight of the raid so far, honestly. My one very slight worry, and this is definitely over worrying, is that Kaido does kind of fall. Like, not falls and is defeated, but he, like, physically falls to, like, Gear 3. And I really want to see all 5 of our team working together. You know, Luffy, Law, Zoro, Killer Kid. You know, 5 members of the worst generation, who are, as Yamato Odin speaking through Yamato points out, are the new generation that Odin predicted all those years ago. And so I think it's really important that the fight is not just Luffy. And I know it almost certainly will not be just Luffy. My worries will certainly be assuaged by the end. Given there's no reason for Oda to set this up if he's not going to actually go through with it. But yeah, this is just, like, the first half of the chapter is fun, it's fine, has some really funny moments. I love Marco just yeeting Zoro to the rooftop. And we get some more little fun bits with Yamato's story with Ace. But nothing in there is super important. The chapter really picks up once Luffy hits the rooftop, and the showdown begins. Almost, as Luffy, again, has to go talk to Kinemon first. And I love that he just walks by the two of them. And Kaido and Big Mom are just so stunned by his brazenness that they just don't do anything as he walks by them. That's such a cool bit. God, it's just, like, Luffy is at his most badass. There's something about the cloak, about his body language. He's just in command here. He is a captain. He is the future king of the pirates. And just watching him, you can see it. You can see that this is the man who will be king of the pirates. And you fucking love to see it. It's a great 1000th chapter. It's a great chapter. It's just a great fucking chapter of One Piece. That, like, it's definitely by far the best chapter of the raid. It's the best chapter we've had in a long time. Like, it's just damn good. Holy shit. Yeah. I can't fucking wait to see what happens next. My one other concern, though, to unfortunately end this video on a slight downer, is that now that we're doing this fight, what kind of purpose will the Toby Roppo fights have? Are we just going to kind of skip those? I don't know. I hope not, because fight skipping is my big gripe with the Onigashima arc. But anyway, beyond that, it's focusing on this chapter alone, setting aside my worries for the future, my worries for the past. This chapter alone is fucking fantastic. And I cannot stress that enough. So yeah, no matter what Oda does next, no matter what decisions he makes, but especially with the Roppo fights, I am excited as hell to see where we go from here. So that's all I have to say for this video. Hope you all enjoyed the chapter and the video itself. If you did, feel free to drop me a like or subscribe, or, do whatever makes you happy, And remember, your life is your own, okay? Bye!